Yo, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, aka DFS Dudes, and we're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Wednesday, October 31st. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This week I watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. And if you haven't went and checked out our new website at dfscheatsheet.com, hey, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, ton of content, daily cash lines for Fanduel and Draftkings. And we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Hey, we're also on a 3-day win streak on Fanduel right now. We got DraftKings only lost 2 times since the start of NBA season. NBA started very hot for us. So, hey, go get those VIP packages on the site for sure. And, hey, how you doing out there, Jeremy?
I'm good, bro. Another good night.
Another good night. NBA for sure. So yeah, I mean, before we get into this video real quick, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second, click the like button for me down below. Helps me out. Really appreciate that a lot. And yeah, man, I'm ready to jump in this slate. We got a solid 7-game slate. Before one more thing real quick. Hey, happy Halloween to everybody out there. Hope you guys have a fun evening with your kids and your family. Be safe. Definitely. We'll be back tomorrow night, right? So we'll be back after your
bro. Yeah. I hate Halloween.
Hey, so tomorrow, after your trick or treating, come back. We'll be on breaking down Thursday slate. But hey, let's get into this slate. Let's win some money while we're trick or treating, man. Hey, that's what I do. We walk around trick or treating, and I just watch sports on my phone. Hey, it is what it is. But hey, as long as the kids have fun, that's all that matters for sure. So. Yeah, man. So I'm just ready to go. We'll get started with the first game of the night. We'll do it as we always do it. Jeremy, you get the visitor side, and I'll get the home side. So the first game that we're going to look at, it's going to be Detroit going into Brooklyn to face the Nets. This game has a 214 implied total, and Brooklyn's actually favored over Detroit by 2.5. That surprised me a little bit. So, yeah, get us started with this game. What do you think?
So I didn't see it, but I heard down by 3 tonight, and Blake Griffin just dropped the ball on a routine inbound pass.
Oh man, I didn't see it neither, bro.
That's what I heard. Hey, and then just a quick little shout out, real quick, to ourselves. We did nail the Drummond call, right? Drummond had a really good night tonight. I believe he had a double-double.
Right, for sure. Hey, Siakam crazy again. I told everybody he was a lock yesterday. Siakam, that dude. Hey, when he gets, hey, that dude's a beast. That dude's really, really good.
Siakam is good, man. He really is good. Him and Serge Ibaka both had a good night again tonight.
Remember we were talking about it. Hey, that combo looks good, bro. Hey,
yeah, it does.
And they're faster. That's the thing. It's like I understand that they may not be the tallest, but both of them dudes are still tall. They're just, covering each half of the paint, and then you got a couple good defenders in Kawhi. And
that's the deal, bro. It's Kawhi. Kawhi is what allows them to go small like that or smaller like that because of the fact that he makes their perimeter defending so well and just chokes everybody off in the post.
But like Kyle Lowry and Danny Green are both good defenders as well. They're pretty good defensive.
Danny Green's a super good defender. That's what if you play Danny Green, that's what you're hoping for is blocks, steals, and rebounds.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, Toronto's looking good, bro. That's all I'm saying. If they can stay healthy,
think about it. They took a back-to-back and just smashed it, right?
Right.
Smashed Milwaukee and smashed in Philadelphia tonight. And when it got close, they just scored 12 points in like 30 seconds and turned it out.
Right. So hey, let's get into this slate. Sorry, we're getting off track a little bit. So get us started with the Detroit side of things.
Detroit side. So I'm not interested in playing anybody at the point guard position, so I'll move on from that. Like I said last night, I'm not buying into anybody they've got at shooting guard or small forward. So it really leaves me with 2 plays in this game from the Detroit side. Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin's he's just been a solid play lately. I mean, he really has. He's playing really back to younger Blake Griffin days, the level he's playing at. And then, you also have to take a look at Drummond I know it's going to be on a back-to-back, but you've got to take a look at Drummond as well. So that's really the 2 plays that I'm going to look at in this one on the Detroit side. I'm not interested in playing Reggie Jackson. I know you can make a case to play him But look, there's other games on the slate that have, super high implied totals and super high. I mean, there's a couple track meets on the slate, so I'm not really interested in the Detroit side of this outside of Blake Griffin at 8,800. Again tonight, he goes out, puts up 24 points, 15 rebounds, 44 fantasy points. Had a dud against Boston 3 days ago, but prior to that, 42.5, 77.8, 57.9, and 43.6. I think 8,800 is a very fair price. Still a little bit underpriced probably for his performance. And then you have to absolutely look at Andre Drummond, especially against Brooklyn. Drummond hasn't had the 60-point game yet, so you're still, looking for that, but he definitely has that upside. 17 points, 12 rebounds. You look at that, 26 points, 22 rebounds, 14 points, 16 rebounds, 24 points, 20 rebounds, 10 and 13. The guy's a walking double-double. So I know it's on the second half of a back-to-back, but it is against a team that's not a defensive juggernaut. Brooklyn is not. So those are the two plays for me.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not even going to waste nobody's time. On the Brooklyn side of things, I mean, I'm going to honestly just look at Karis LeVert. That's it. I mean, the guy, been balling all year. He's their best player right now. The price tag is a little bit up, 7.2. You need about 36 for him to hit value. First game of the season against Detroit, he put up almost 41 fantasy points. So I think the Karis LeVert's really the only guy that I'm going to look at. I'm only going to mention one other guy because I had a question on our live chat. If you guys got any questions, feel free to hit us in the live chat with some questions as well. But Marv wanted to know what I thought about Jarrett Allen for Brooklyn. I mean, I think he's a decent play. I don't expect him to get 39 fantasy points like he did the first game against Drummond. The guy got lucky with some 4 blocks. Otherwise, you take 12, and he's about 25, 26. So I'm not. I don't really want to like count on somebody just to get blocks and stuff. So for me, GPP play only, and I'm ready to move on. Like I said, just Karis LeVert for me on the Brooklyn side of things. You good?
I'm good, man.
All right, get it. So the next game that we're gonna look at is gonna be the Denver Nuggets going into Chicago to face the Bulls. This game has a 226 implied total. This is going to be one of those faster games that you were talking about. And you got Denver. They are favored by 7.5 in this one.
Jamal Murray, $7,400. I like him. Surprisingly, if I saw this correctly, the spread in this game is only 7. I don't know if I really buy into that. Or it's 7.5. I'm sorry. I don't know how much I buy into that unless Vegas knows something that the rest of us don't. But I know Golden State's on an elite level. I know that. But they just put up 96 points in the first half against Chicago. Right? So Denver, from a team defensive standpoint, has been one of the better teams defensively in the league so far this year. Very stingy. They make you work for baskets. I know that they can get in some games where at the in the second half it seems like it gets opened up a little bit. But if you look at last night against New Orleans, that was a very low scoring first half. It was a very low fantasy production first half, and a game that looked like it was gonna be very popular. So I don't know how much I buy into the 7, but Jamal Murray at 7,400, 47 fantasy points against New Orleans. I know that was without Elfrid Payton, but this is not a great front court defensive back court for Chicago. So I start with him. Gary Harris still in a really good spot. His price is sitting at 7,400 though, so I'm not sure how much I like that given the other matchups on the board. But he does have 40 point. He can get you 40 points and he can get you 6x tomorrow night. We just saw Klay Thompson at the shooting guard position break the NBA record for threes. Small forward position, I'm going to stay clear of that. They don't really have anybody that you can load up from them. And then I do like Jokic a lot. He hasn't lived up to value really in his last 4 or 5 games. He had the big, 80-point game back earlier this month, and he's been really, low 40s, high 30 cents. So I'll go back to what I've said about Joel Embiid when they played Chicago. They don't have a center that can defend Jokic. And, I watched Jokic. We all know JaVale McGee's had a pretty decent year. JaVale McGee is what he is, but he's had a hell of a lot better year than anybody thought he was going to have so far. And there was times when Denver played the Lakers a few games ago where Jokic just had his way and just literally just said, I'm going to back you down. And that's a big man. That's a good defender. That's a guy who's a seasoned defender in this league. Who does Chicago have that can handle Jokic? Nobody. So I'll keep it there. Jokic, Jamal Murray. If you want to take a flyer on Gary Harris, the reason I say flyer is just because of the value. I think there's better spots at shooting guard tomorrow than Gary Harris.
Yeah, so for me, on the Chicago side of things, I mean, Cameron Payne, his price is sitting there at 5,000. The problem with him, he hasn't been getting the minutes. I'm not, him. I think GPP, you can look at him just because he's shown us some upside, a couple times this season. He's going to be starting at point guard. The biggest guy that I think you look at on the Chicago side of things is obviously Zach LaVine. He's their leader. The guy's been on fire. He's averaging 28 points on the actual season, scoring points, 39 fantasy points. The price tag has crept up, 8.5. So I think he's a little bit more of a GPP play, but I think he's obviously is the best play on the bull side of things. Justin Holiday, played him a lot earlier in the year. Price tag's up a little bit. The guy, he's been getting a ton of minutes on the season. I think he's just a little bit more scoring dependent than I like. So GPP play, and I mean Parker, his minutes. See, the problem with these Chicago guys, honestly, is just they're all price high and the minutes haven't been there. You look at a lot of their starters and they're playing 25, 26 minutes. Like, why do I want to pay $7,500 for Jabari Parker? His minutes are 26, 34, 25, 30, 24. Like, they're all over the place, and that's kind of how his fantasy production is. Obviously, if he's going to have stagnant minutes. So that's really, the only guy I'm really going to look on the bull side of things that I'm actually going to play is probably going to be Zach LaVine. And I don't want you to tell me, so I'm just going to mention it. I know Jeremy really likes this guy, Wendell Carter, so I'll mention him as a GPP as well. The guy has shown us some definite upside on the season, back-to-back games of at least 31 fantasy points. And, that's really where I'm at with the Chicago side of things, Zach LaVine, and I'm ready to move on to the next game if you are.
Moving on.
All right, man. So the next game we're going to talk about, we're going to go with the Utah at Minnesota. This game has a 223 implied total, and Utah is favored by 2.5 in this game.
Donovan Mitchell. That's where I'm going to go. Donovan Mitchell. That's about the only spot that I absolutely love. I know there's a narrative with Ricky Rubio going back into Minnesota. Ricky Rubio's price, $6,300. If he's a sub 6,000 player, he's probably a really, really, really good play tomorrow. But from a production standpoint, he's only had one monster game so far this year. The rest of the time, he's had a hard time living up to at least 4x. So I'm going to stay clear of Rubio. I'll have some Rubio exposure tomorrow just because of the narrative. I'm a sucker for narrative in tournaments. So Donovan Mitchell. Outside of that, keep an eye on the Jay Crowder situation. If, Derek Favors, Jay Crowder situation, if there's no favors and you get Crowder starts. I think Crowder's an elite value play at 4,900 for the minutes he'll see. And then I could see playing Rudy Gobert tomorrow, and I may have maybe like 10% exposure to Gobert just because of the fact that Towns, I'll say it over and over and over again about Towns. The guy's not a back to the rim defender. He's just not. He's not. I know Towns is coming off a big game, but it's really the first game that he decided to pull his panties up and go to work. So you could take a chance with Gobert. I probably will have a little exposure to Gobert, but for me, it's Donovan Mitchell, and that's really it.
So on the Minnesota side of things, bro, you're going to laugh at me. You know who the first guy that I want to play on the Minnesota side of things is?
Taj Gibson.
Taj Gibson or Derrick Rose, bro. Come on, bro. That's it. You got – everything else is a mess. Teague has not been playing well. This whole team is a mess. I'm so surprised they haven't traded Jimmy Butler. It's just been like a cancer. Karl-Anthony Towns playing horrible. I understand he had a good game last game, but hey, I ain't playing Towns against Gobert. Like I said, Jeff Teague, the price tag's fair, but the guys, GPP, I say you could look at Jeff Teague. I think he is a good play at his price tag. Jimmy Butler, 9,600, way too expensive for me. He's been so up and down to pay that much. So like I said, for me, Minnesota, I honestly like, a little bit of Derrick Rose or some Taj Gibson, a guy 5,400, and he's consistent. You need 25 for him to hit value, and he's averaging 25 on the season. And yeah, man, like I said, that's it, bro. That's all I'm gonna be looking at.
One thing we have to mention with this game is this is a pace down game. It's a Utah game. It's not an exciting game. 197 wouldn't be shocking in this one. So, like I said, Donovan Mitchell for me. Narrative with Ricky Rubio. Maybe take a shot with Gobert.
Yeah, for sure. So which one do we got? Oh yeah, okay, we got one more before we get to a couple of the better games. So let's move on to this next 5 o'clock game, and then we'll get into the later games of the night. So the next game we're gonna look at is gonna be Indiana going into New York to face the Knicks. Indiana is favored by 5.5 in this game. Damn, bro, you get the good teams tonight, man.
Early, just early. So my boy Darren Collison is finally starting to get his minutes. I know a few videos back, like last week, we were talking about what's going on there and all the guards they have in the guard play. But 29 minutes and 36 minutes his last 2 games, 33.4 and 34.4. If he's going to see this kind of minutes, he's definitely capable of 5, 6, 7x at this price point at 5,300. So it's a good starting point for a point guard number 2. Shooting guard Oladipo always in play, $9,400 tomorrow, playing at Madison Square Garden. He's worth a look. He's definitely worth a look. Problem I have with Oladipo is he's been inconsistent as far as the early part of the season, and then these last 3 games, man, he's really started to find a groove and find a rhythm. And I think that starts with Darren Collison and then starting to settle into a rotation. So we always say this early, it's tough. Fantasy NBA is tough until rotations start to get figured out. And I think that you're seeing that in Indiana. You see 44.3, 43.6, 44.5. Everybody who's an elite player, in my opinion, gets a boost when they go to Madison Square Garden because it's New York, the bright lights, they want to put a show on. So I definitely think Oladipo is worth a look tomorrow at 9,400. Other than that, for me, Thaddeus Young is not living up to expectations with his time here in Indiana. He just is not. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that they like this kid Sabonis, but they like the bench role that Sabonis plays. Sabonis is definitely the better player at 5,300 as opposed to Young at 5,600. I will have exposure to Sabonis tomorrow. The Knicks seem to be in a bit of a mess. I feel really bad. Like just I don't even know this person, Enes Kanter, but I feel bad for him, man, because this dude's a legitimate center in this league. And he, Steven Adams is a beast. I'll say that. Adams is a beast. And in OKC, he was a bench player, and he was a great bench player. But this dude went to New York, and this dude is a starting center in the NBA. He's a beast. He can do everything. So Sabonis, I think, going to go in the game when Kanter's in, so maybe you want to be careful with your exposure there. But Sabonis is definitely a better player than Thaddeus Young is, and I'm not interested at all in playing Miles Turner. This dude's just too inconsistent for me. If there's a center I'm going to play in this game that's on the other side of it, I definitely like Mitchell, the young center Mitchell Robinson. I know that's on your side, though.
Yeah, so like you said real quick with Sabonis, and the thing is if he's going against Kanter, that dude, the problem with him is he always gets in foul trouble.
Yeah, he does.
Always. And so going against Kanter, that's a recipe for a disaster.
Yeah.
So, bro, I mean, you pretty much hit you covered it really. On the New York side of things, they're just a mess right now. I don't understand what this coach is doing. He went from – I liked his initial starting lineup earlier in the season. I liked it. Trey Burke in there, Oladipo. Them dudes are good. Now I'm looking at their minutes, and you got, like you said, bro, Kanter, he's one of my favorite centers in the league. Man, he could come to the Lakers, bro, and I would be happy. But this dude, the first couple games, bro, he's getting 32, 33, 35 minutes, putting up monster games. Man, past 3 games, 18, 20, 26. Like, come on, bro. Give the dude his minutes. But for me, the 7,100 price tag, that's 35 you need for value. And that's a little bit scary for me with the guy that I don't know how many minutes I'm really going to get from him. I know if he's going to get the minutes.
They're done. Like, when I say done, they're done with they've got veterans on their team to fill out their roster. They're going to play bench roles. But if you look at the minutes in the last 3 games, they've made a commitment to their youth. The only guy who's going to get run with them that's a veteran player is Hardaway. It's the only guy they're committed to giving minutes to.
Right. So I mean, so that was the next guy I was going to touch on. Hardaway's like my boy just said. He's the only guy that's really getting his 30 minutes for sure. Hardaway gets his, so he's the safest play, obviously. If you do want to get some New York exposure, but then you can look at you can look at Vonleh. He's been playing well since he's been starting. The guy fills up the stat sheet, plays some good defense. He in the past couple of games, he's got you 27, 28 since being in the starting lineup. 5.3 price tag. You need about 26 for value. So I can definitely think that you could look at some Vonleh in this game. And the other guy that we touched on, Mitchell Robinson. 4.4. I like that guy. I think the guy's very good. But you can even look at him though. It's like he got 29 minutes 2 games ago against the Warriors. Last game against Brooklyn, he got 15. You know what I mean? It's like it's just so up and down. It's so up and down. Like they're not even like nowhere close. I don't even know where to base their minutes. So for me on the New York side of things, hey, you can look at Tim Hardaway. He's going to get his minutes for sure. He's shooting the ball 20 times a game. And outside of that, I'm staying away from the mess that they got going on.
I personally would add the Belgian Frenchman. I don't know, is he Belgian? Is he French? But Ntilikina, this dude is starting to get minutes. This dude's a smooth player, man. No, I wish he would have got one last year, but this dude's he's a good young player. He's smooth, man.
No, I like him. He's been starting all year. At first, what they did is they had him starting at shooting guard, and they had Trey Burke starting at point guard. Now, I like Ntilikina, but the thing, like, I'm looking at his log, bro, and I mean, he's always getting the minutes, but I'm getting a 25, then an 8, a 12, a 17, a 20. Okay, at 31 in there. So it's just a lot of inconsistency going on. I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at. Robin?
You got to look at those last 3 games when you're looking at the Knicks, though, because that's really when they decide to shake it up, right? So you see, he moves over to point guard, then you get, production picked up steadily, 17, 21, 31, So I like this dude, man. When he last year, the problem with him was they didn't commit to him at all. So this is like a young Tony Parker to me, man. I like this dude.
Yeah, no, I get you. For sure. Oh, and then one more thing, just because we're talking about the Ntilikina thing. One more thing I do want to mention is their other point guard who initially was going to be the starting point guard on the year, Emmanuel Mudiay. He's probable to come back tomorrow. You with me?
Mudiay's garbage, dude.
Yeah, but they're going to give him minutes though. That's the thing. So now
I think honestly, my honest opinion, I could be dead wrong here. My honest opinion is that Mudiay goes to shooting guard and they start taking away Hardaway's minutes.
Man, hey, it's just a disaster, bro. I'm moving on. You ready? All right.
Hey, let me ask you this though, real quick. This dude Knox, right? The rookie.
Right.
So now they got Mitchell Robinson, they got Knox. Knox is obviously injured right now, and Porzingis hasn't played yet, right? Porzingis is definitely their franchise. So what do they do with this dude Knox? What do they do with this dude Mitchell Robinson when these guys come back?
But Knox is gonna get his, bro. He was a first round pick, so he's gonna get his minutes for sure. And he's supposed to be like really, really good. And and then you got Porzingis. Well, let's move on to the next game. So next game we got the good game. Okay, we got the New Orleans Pelicans going into Golden State to face the Warriors. So I'm just going to tell you right now, this game doesn't have a projected total. It doesn't have an over and under. And the reason is the big news that, we have to see what happens tomorrow. It's if Anthony Davis plays. If Anthony Davis doesn't play, this game is going to be a blowout, okay? If Anthony Davis does play, it probably may still be a blowout, but it'll have a little bit more of a better chance to stay competitive. Would you agree with that one?
If Anthony Davis plays, the over under in this game could be 250.
Yeah, no, it's going to be super high.
And the Warriors will probably be favored by 10. That would be my guess. I like this game a lot. I'm really hopeful Anthony Davis plays. I personally think that they've rested him to come back for this game. I think I've been saying it all year. I've seen what Anthony Davis has said. He said he wants to be in the same conversation with these guys, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, as one of the elite players in the game. He got a little bit banged up with the sprained elbow. I personally think that this game was the game that they targeted for him to try and get him back healthy for. I think he does play tomorrow, and I think this game the Warriors probably end up being favored by 10. This game will have fireworks. You can look at players on both sides and their histories against each other. Steph Curry has gone off, and so has Draymond Green against New Orleans in the past. Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis have gone off against the Warriors in the past. Mirotic is a guy for me that is the mismatch in this game. I just think that you look at a guy like Ryan Anderson. When he was there, Ryan Anderson, he would kind of just knock down threes and keep New Orleans close with the Warriors. And that's kind of a Mirotic game for me. So I'm going to start it with Drew Holiday because I don't know if Anthony Davis is playing for sure. Drew Holiday, Elfrid Payton, I believe, has already been ruled out for this one. He was ruled out earlier today. So that puts Drew Holiday starting at point guard. We've seen what this dude does starting at point guard. So I love Drew Holiday, $8,300, a little bit of a price increase, but you know what? It's worth for the fantasy points per minute that he'll put up and the usage, the increased usage being the starting point guard. He's worth the uptick, and it's only a few $100s. This guy has 50-point upside tomorrow for sure. He'll get a bunch of assists if Anthony Davis plays. So I like him a lot. I like Mirotic a lot, and I would play him at 7,700. And then obviously Anthony Davis, man. Right. That's all I got to say. Anthony Davis, the dude. Just check his game log if you don't believe me. Right, 54 is his lowest output, 80 is his highest. So you're looking at a guy whose floor is 50 and his ceiling is 80 plus. 12-8's not too high in this one if he plays for me.
All right. So on the worst side of things, hey bro, real quick, hey, somebody just said it in the chat. And my boy's keeping it real. My boy Todd, what up, Todd? Shout out to Todd. Hey, Curry wants his record back, bro. he's gonna hit 15 3-pointers one game this season. I'll promise you that. You hear me?
Yeah, I was looking at the chat.
Oh yeah. So anyways, we can start, but I'm gonna tell you the problem with Curry tomorrow. Problem with Curry, he could get the Drew Holiday treatment. Holiday started at point guard last game with no Elfrid Payton. So if it's Curry against a Holiday, I mean, I understand Curry's Curry, but we have our Drew Holiday rule, bro, and rules can't break them. So that's the only thing. I didn't even think about that. And I was loving Curry going into this game. I'm like, shit, Drew Holiday may be guarding him. So it could be another Klay Thompson game. Like we talked about it, last time, Klay Thompson hadn't been, doing good all season. He was shooting like 18% from three-pointer or something before last game, and he had a monster game. I could see Curry, getting the Drew Holiday treatment and Klay having another good game. Back-to-back games kind of break out. I like Klay a lot in this spot. I think that he's very, very fair price, going into this game at 6.6. Obviously, I definitely am going to still play a little bit of Curry in my GPPs. I think Curry is a decent play still. And then you got Kevin Durant. I mean, who's going to guard Kevin Durant? Mirotic can't guard Kevin Durant. So I think Kevin Durant's a really good play tomorrow. If it's not Klay going off, I think that it definitely possibly could be Kevin Durant tomorrow. Draymond, very fair price, 7.5. We're still waiting for that Draymond game. They've all kind of had their monster game, so it's Draymond's turn, and it's going to be coming very soon. Very fair price tag, 7.6. I mean, I like all the starters for the Warriors pretty much, and you could even look at the young rookie for them, Mr. Jones, 3,500. I mean, he's definitely been up and down, but I mean, he showed us a little bit of upside, a bare minimum price tag. I definitely think he can be a decent pump play for you, probably a little bit more GPP. And, yeah, that's about it. It's just pretty much the starting five are the ones that I'm going to be looking at for the Warriors. They're all going to be in play. Hopefully, I'm hoping that Davis, is in this game. I think it'll be a little bit more closer, and them guys can actually play the fourth quarter. That's the thing you always got to kind of be like, yeah, when you're playing the Warriors. But you got anything else on this game? You think we're good to go?
Hey, let me ask you this. How long has Drew Holiday been in New Orleans? Do you know?
I want to say about 4 years.
4 years. That means that he's had the opportunity to give Steph Curry the Drew Holiday treatment for 4 years, right?
I think so. I don't know.
So let me just break something down for you real quick. I'll go back to the 15-16 season. Curry averaged in 4 games 40 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. The 16-17 season, right? I'm sorry, the 16-17 season, 33, 6, and 3. Last year, 28, 8, and 4. Load Steph Curry up tomorrow night. And here's why.
That's against Holiday?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's done against New Orleans in the past 3 years. So,
I get what
quick
you're
math, 73, 81, 91. So he's averaging 30 points a game against New Orleans in probably 12 games over 3 years? That's not including the playoffs. So the thing with Curry, dude, is that we've seen him torch all of the elite point guards, defensive point guards in the league because of his ability to get the shot up. I mean, it doesn't matter who's in his face. He comes off screen so well, and he uses the high screen so well to get his shot off. So I think he's probably one of the only players that you can take against Drew Holiday.
Okay. Well, the thing is I mean, if you can shoot from half court, then I mean, I guess that you can score on anybody, right?
If Davis plays tomorrow, Steph Curry is probably the best play in that game.
Right. I get you for sure. So yeah, I mean, you ready to move on to this next game?
Yeah.
All right, man. So we got the boys, got them Lakers. We got Dallas coming into LA to face the Lakers. This game has a 235 implied total, and the Lakers are favored by 7 in this game. This game is going to be this game and the Pelicans game that we just talked about against the Warriors are going to be the 2 highest implied games on the slate by far, for sure.
Hey, who's favored?
Lakers are favored by 7.
I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to laugh, but the Lakers' defense is so bad. I mean, they give up so many points per game, and they're 23rd in their defensive rating, right? So,
don't beat the Mavericks, bro.
Huh?
We're gonna beat the Mavericks.
I mean, look, should they beat the Mavericks? Absolutely. And LeBron James, look, you got to pick tomorrow who you're going to spend up on, and these late games right here are where it's at, right? And you've got to get exposure to all of it. So you have to be creative with finding value on tomorrow's slate. So with that being said, I think there's some good value on the Lakers. I'll start with value, and I'll go with Josh Hart. His price has dropped in this one. Lakers are favored by 7, and the game script holds out. I do like Josh Hart tomorrow as a value play at 4,500. The guy plays really well at home. And, Josh Hart, dude, just 3 or 4 days ago, he was a $6,500 player because of his production. 24 minutes, 36 minutes against San Antonio in the return of Rondo. He only got 13.9, bad shooting night, and didn't really get very many rebounds to go with it. And that's what he was getting in his previous 4 or 5 games. But, last night he gets 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and only 5 points. He missed some shots, too, in that one. 16.7. I think that Josh Hart at home, he has the ability to get you 6x. He definitely does. And you can see a little extra run with him tomorrow night if the game is in hand, the last 4 to 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. So if he's getting extra run with a game in hand, the guy's going to let it fly. He will score the basketball. So I'll look him at value. A guy that I think is really, really, really super good play tomorrow is Lance Stevenson. He's a point per minute monster so far this season. You just look at his last 4 games. The monster game against Phoenix of 47.6 is what kicked it off. But then you look 24.8, 29.8, 23.8. He's under $5,000. He can easily get you 5x tomorrow in that matchup. So they've got 2 really good value plays. And then the point guard position, Rajon Rondo at 5,800. Rondo's Rondo, man. 29 minutes in his return, 31 minutes last night against Minnesota. Rondo can definitely get you 6 or 7x also. And if it's a game where it's going to be loosely played, Dallas is not a great defensive team by any means outside of DeAndre Jordan. Did I take the Lakers side? I took the home side of this, dude. I apologize, man.
Oh, man, you over here taking bro. Hey, bro, we beefing right now. I'm like, come on. Hey, it's all right. Handle it.
I'll leave you the goodies, though. Go ahead, pick it up, man. I'll leave you the goodies.
That was good. Go ahead.
I got that value for you.
No, it's all right. Finish this off. It's all good, bro.
So it's well documented, I think, what LeBron said. nobody wants to be around him or see him when his frustration boils over. The problem is he's 12-4 and they're favored by 7. This could be the monster 70-point LeBron game we've been waiting for, both from a fantasy standpoint and you and I individually as Laker fans. The best matchup on the board is Brandon Ingram. So I definitely like all of these guys. JaVale McGee's a guy, too, I think is really safe for tournaments because we keep doubting JaVale McGee, but he keeps doing it. I mean, he keeps going out and producing. And, DeAndre Jordan is an elite center. We saw I mentioned earlier what happened with Jokic, right? Just backing him down. But in that game, the Denver game, he gets 38.4 points. Last night against Towns not an elite defender by any means, but 31 against another big. The guy's worst fantasy game this year is 23.5 points this past Saturday against San Antonio. So I know the price is getting up there. I think that makes him an even better tournament play. I also think people stay away because of DeAndre Jordan. So I like the Lakers across the board. I'm going to stay away from Lonzo Ball. This I need to re-engage and be more aggressive and this and that crap. I don't think – look, bottom line for me with Ball, I didn't like the Lakers drafted him. I never bought into the hype with Lonzo Ball. I don't think he's a great basketball player. I think everything they say about him is from a person, and the unselfish part of him as a basketball player, I think that that's all true. The problem is he's not LeBron James. And you talk about unselfish basketball players, that's LeBron James. But the thing is, LeBron James can score the basketball when he wants to. The guy will run you over. Lonzo Ball does not have that killer instinct. He does not have that switch. The guy has an ugly shot. And if Rajon Rondo is going to be playing point guard, I don't care if it's a shared capacity. I'm not playing Lonzo Ball, man.
All right. So you good on the Lakers?
Yeah, I apologize, man. I got all excited.
Okay. No problem. So on the Dallas side of things, there's actually some really good plays. Obviously, I watch pretty much every single Laker game. We don't play very good defense, and we play track meet games. We run back and forth. That's what we do. So there is some good plays, definitely. The number one play for me, well, there's two plays I really, really like, and there's a couple okay. First play I really like, I like Dennis Smith Jr. The guy, he's going to be the leading scorer on this team, him or Doncic. They're going to be right there. He's averaging 17.3 a game. Doncic is averaging, 20. So he's the second leading scorer on the team. The guy has, he always has the ball in his hand. He's an up and down, fast-paced guy himself, young dude. So I think this game just fits perfect for him. I think this is a really good spot for him. 6,500, very fair price tag. You need 32 for him to hit value. He's averaging, almost 30 on the season. So I think that he's a great play. I'm really liking this guy, Luka Doncic. Don't get me wrong. The only problem with him is I'm not paying $8,000 for this dude. That's the only problem. I played him a ton earlier in the season when he was 6,000 and 5,500. But 8,000, he's just getting too expensive for me. But the minutes are there. That's one thing I do got to admit. He is definitely getting his minutes. So I think you could throw Doncic in a couple of GPP lineups. Wesley Matthews, this dude. I don't never want to play Wesley Matthews. But one thing about Wesley Matthews, he always plays 37, 38 minutes a game. His whole career, he's always played 37, 38 minutes a game. The guy gets hot. Before last game, he had 4 straight games of scoring at least 20 points. And at this price tag, all you need is 25 for value. He's averaged 26 on the season. So you can look at it, Wesley Matthews. Harrison Barnes just coming back from injury. Past 2 games, though, he played at least 34 minutes. And this is a guy, he's a really good scorer. He gets some rebounds. I think that he's a little bit underpriced right now. And I think he's in a good spot for some GPPs tomorrow. And then the only other guy is DeAndre Jordan. I love DeAndre Jordan tomorrow. Against the Lakers, I think he's going to get tons of rebounds, easy double-double for DeAndre Jordan. And he's one of those guys you got to remember. There are some centers that can't run and play in those kind of games. But DeAndre Jordan, he played with Blake Griffin and he played with Chris Paul. This dude does just fine in those games. And, there's going to be a lot of three-pointer shot. I really like DeAndre Jordan. I think he's going to probably – him and Smith are tied for my top 2 plays I do like on Denver. And then, like I said, you could throw Barnes, Doncic, and Matthews and a couple of GPPs. And, I'm ready to roll on to this last game. Pretty much going to be a blowout.
the last 2 years since Barnes has been in Dallas, he's averaged 18 points and 6 rebounds against the Lakers. Taking a look at his price, I think Harrison Barnes is a very good play at 5,900 against the Lakers tomorrow night on that Dallas side.
Right. That's what I was telling you. That his price is going to go up. I mean, in the next couple of days for sure. He's going to be almost 7,000. So yeah, for sure. So we got the last game of the night. This game is going to be a blowout. It doesn't have a line on it yet. You got the Spurs going into Phoenix to face the Suns. I mean, to be honest with you, if it was up to me, I would probably say let's just scratch this game off. But hey, we'll cover it real quick. So just get us started with that San Antonio side of things.
So there's a couple of guys, and you're gonna think, don't laugh at me when I say this, but there's a couple of pump plays in this game for me. Obviously, no Devin Booker, but I think David Bertans is a good pump play tomorrow night. If you're looking to with all the expensive guys on the slate in these track meet games, if this game gets out of hand, which it should, Bertans should see some extensive run in the second half. You know, I also like you look at their point guard situation. They've got Brian Forbes, they've got Patty Mills, and that's really it. I would think that Patty Mills would get some extra run tomorrow too at 3,800. Patty Mills has been playing big minutes. He's been playing, 34, 25, 24, 31, 22 coming off the bench. He plays big minutes. He just doesn't see scoring opportunities because of the way the rotation is. He's on the floor with DeRozan a lot. So in a regular game, there's not enough usage to play Mills, but the minutes are there because of his defense. I think tomorrow night, if the game, the game should blow out. This is a mismatch, and there's no Booker. So I like Patty Mills as a pump play. I like Bertans as a pump play. I'm not interested in playing really anybody else. Rudy Gay's too expensive for me for this game. I understand that Rudy Gay's played fairly well as of late, 45 and 44 respectively in his last 2 games, but collectively those games were very close games. So I think that's really it. And I'm dead serious when I say if you want a pump play, a way to stuff salary in your lineup, I think Bertans is a late pump play. Maybe Bertans has gone 10x before. This guy was an elite value play last year for about 3 weeks. So he's a very capable player, and you get him a minimum value as a pump play tomorrow if you're looking to squeeze salary in, and Patty Mills as well. If this game does blow out, those are 2 really good pump plays. I don't know if at 9,700 you can afford to play DeMar DeRozan. So that's really it. I'm looking at that game for a couple of late pump plays to get, try. I will say this, okay, and this is about the whole slate. Their NBA is unique because you can take a look at like an after dark or a late night or after hours slate, and you can play that slate and play the main slate, and you can literally see the winning lineup in a tournament in the after hours slate be a higher score than the winning tournament in the main slate. You can literally build lineups tomorrow night with only the 7:30 games and have a chance to take down tournaments. And if you do that, that's where these elite, to me, Bertans is really an elite pump play tomorrow because of the fact this game could blow out and he could get such a good run.
Yeah, so on the Sun side of things, I mean, there's a guy that I think is actually a really good play as well. It's going to be Josh Jackson, 3,700. The guy started last game for Booker at the shooting guard position. I mean, he's going to be matched up against DeMar DeRozan. For me, DeMar DeRozan, he's a scorer. He's not the best defender. Josh Jackson, he showed us in the past that when he gets minutes, he does pretty good. He just hasn't got the minutes this year. So I think that Josh Jackson is a solid pump play if he gets to start again. The young rookie, DeAndre Ayton, obviously the guy's been playing very well, doing very good. I just don't want to play 8,000 for him in a game that, I'm almost for sure think that this game is going to be a blowout. So, that's really – I'm not really going to look at nobody on the Sun side besides Josh Jackson if he starts as a pump play. The only other guy you can consider – if it does blow out a little bit, a guy that's shown us in the past that he can do some work would be TJ Warren, 5,000. That's the only thing is I want to pay 5,000 for a guy where, I don't know where his minutes going to be. But, when he had the minutes, Warren's a baller for sure. So that's really where I'm at.
I would also say that tomorrow night Tyson Chandler is on the board. He's in play. As another pump play, and that's what this game really is for me. It's full of pump plays, but I just go back to the Laker game. The Lakers blew their doors off, and Tyson Chandler plays a lot of mop-up minutes and gets 14 points and 11 rebounds. So at 3,500, if you want to punt on Tyson Chandler, I think he's worth mentioning as well. But that's what this game is for me all the way around is punt plays.
Yeah, I'm not looking at Tyson Chandler tomorrow, but I get it though for sure. So yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. I think that's all I got for this slate. If you got anything else to add, if not, hey man, I'm ready to get up out of here. Hey, thank you every single buddy that was watching this and go along with us, hitting us with the question stuff. Makes it a lot more.
Let's make sure we got a lot of people on right now. I mean, we got kind of a shorter video tonight because it's such a blowout. If anybody's got questions, we can give it a couple minutes to get some questions in. I do see one about Jamal Murray and Dennis Smith Jr. too. I'll just tell you that for me, Dennis Smith Jr. is in the better spot going against the Lakers. I don't trust the Vegas line at 7.5 in that one. I do think Jamal Murray is a very good play, but if you give me the choice in the two, I'm going to take Dennis Smith Jr. in the better spot.
Yeah, so that's really where I'm at, bro. So hey, if you guys haven't already, make sure to go check out the website, DFS Cheat Morning. I'm going to be on. I'm going to be putting up my NBA core plays for the day. Go check out the DFS Cheat Sheet YouTube channel as well. Jeremy puts up his daily GPP core plays. And yeah, I mean, that's it. We got no more questions. I think we're out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.